Thank you for staying with us. It's this special Democracy Day edition of Journalist Hangout. It's the season of intrigues, theatrics, mood-slinging, and outright battles in Nigeria, especially among the political class. The reason is not far-fetched. We are running into an election year. As we prepare for the seasonal ritual of going to the poll nationally, the political players are at their game, squabbling, feuding, and machinations fueled by open and veiled ambitions for power. For now, the habitual cross-carpeting and open rebellion now envelop the political space. Like some political scientists would say, Nigerians hardly learn from the past. Hence, history would always be repeated. While citizens feel unconcerned about events, the political gladiators are coming home to roost. The All Progressive Congress, APC, is battling internal wrangling, but not much is heard from the opposition parties. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, appears to be overwhelmed. We ask, where is the so-called third first? Kolawole.
Good to be here again.
All right. Let's look at the APC crisis. They've not had their convention since 2015. They've had to postpone now, this maybe because of the Ramadan festival season, but it's on record that they've never gone on any elective or non-elective convention since 2015, at variance with the constitution of the party.
Well, I should think, I wouldn't speak for the APC. I'm not a member of the party. However, what is in the public domain is what you have said. They have run against the constitution of their party. And in this case, the beginning of the crisis is not now. It began on the 29th of May, 2015, when the president was sworn in, and he said he belonged to nobody and all of that. Thereafter, some people saw the hole to lash into. And the political godfathers, or those who promoted the party from the very beginning, were sidelined. So government, of course, was functioning. You can quote that. And the party was completely deregulated. Mark that word again. Now, as time goes by, you find a situation where the party was struggling with the structure they put together hurriedly. Remember, they came together not as the flour that was mixed with sugar and all the ingredients. It was like, you gum them together. So these are parts that can easily be dismantled. So what you're having now is very simple. There was no complete mixture of the parts that came together. So the grumbling is now happening. So they want to now dismember. That is the genesis of the crisis you're seeing now. Now, get to see what happened with the government and the party. As soon as the party came into power, I said it earlier, that some godfathers, Mark Daward, who actually promoted the party, they were sidelined. So you had a situation where politics was not being taken care of, only governance. And you can't separate the two. They must work together. So the moment they realize that the machine that brought us here, that we abandoned, will be needed again, now they want to go back to it. But I hope it's not too late. In 2014, it was better for the president. Now the game is no longer the same. Take a little mathematics. Now, the president support base is the northern part of Nigeria, and by extension, where he's expecting his vote from. Northwest gave him 7.2 million votes in 2015. Today, can they still give him the same amount of vote? I'll tell you no. Why? You have Kano, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, and maybe one state. Today, the new PDP seems to be stronger in those states. You can take your barrow and keep looking at them one by one. So it looks as though that even the party in power, they are scared. That's why you mentioned a man from Kano now, a man that was discharged and acquitted in 2016. They went after him now. Those are all, games.
Adekunle Yusuf. The 9th of June, I think the 9th of June 2015, an election was held at the National Assembly, and those anointed by the parties lost out on that election. Abubakar Bukola Saraki became the Senate President, and Yakubu Dogara became the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And since that time, APC had majority in the House of Representatives, had majority in the Senate. But this party has been like a kind of opposition unto itself. So the executives is like this, the legislature is like this, acting cat and mice since 2015. What do you make of this situation within APC?
Just put the blame on the part of the presidency, because you are the national leader of the party. Immediately after the election in 2015, I'm sorry to say, Mr. President didn't provide leadership for his party. It's like the party is like a rotten, fish that shouldn't be touched. Now he's doing a fantastic job, helping the party now. But he first of all dissociated himself from the party. Then he went ahead to even add to it by, editing the promises made by the party. No, I didn't say so. Things that were said by the party. Then you added to it by the election of National Assembly officers. You will recall that the party had what they call mock election to make sure that there will be. But at the end of the day, the president who promised to be for nobody and for everybody, many bigwigs in the APC actually didn't believe so. They believe that, because you recall that any big names in the APC were trashed. Apology to Senator Yeye Tinubu. Some people were trashed. Now, maybe the picture is changing. When you look at it, what this government has been able to do is a product of the support and lack of it has enjoyed from the National Assembly. When the PDP was in power, you look at the kind of relationship between the executive and the legislature, it wasn't this bad. This government has promised a lot of things. I think number one of it is war against corruption. You need National Assembly, especially the Senate and the House of Representatives, to help you in these areas. What has happened? Most of the bills sent there, you need a president to interface, to lobby with it. It doesn't end by just sending in there. They are not your boys. No. If you read, from the books of most past American presidents, you will know that the president does a lot of lobbying. Mm-hmm. You read Bill Clinton, he said that there were times that you have to call in the night. And there's one thing I took away from it. He said, nobody says no to the president of America. In Nigeria, I don't believe anybody will say no to the president of Nigeria. You need to interface. In 2017, one thing that is very, very fundamental to the fight against corruption is the Freedom of Information Act. It's a useless law. The Attorney General of this government, Malami, came out to raise fundamental, challenges. And he said 90% of national agencies and institutions of Nigeria don't obey that law, according to the sitting Attorney General of Nigeria. What have you done? I have written, Auditor General, many of them, they don't even look at it. They don't respect it. What do? You need that law to fight corruption. It is not only for the media, it is for every Nigerian, because it will bring about open access.
Babajide, the third force, the People's Democratic Party, since 2015, they were in the saddle for 16 years. And the shock of losing power, I don't think they've gotten it over with 3 years after.
No, they've not recovered, and they've really not helped themselves. Because when you imagine what Wike has done, Wike has weakened an entire party to make a state strong. Today, what the PDP could have done was to give greater assent to the Southwest. But today, Buhari is stronger in the Southwest now because the PDP chose to look away. They chose not to accord the Southwest a pride of place.
By choosing a South-South chairman.
Yes. What they wanted was, oh, okay, since these people have never voted for us, then the national chairman should not come from that area. So they preferred the South-South. And they succeeded in blackmailing even governors who ordinarily, from the beginning, had wanted the chairman to come from the Southwest. For example, someone like the governor of Bayelsa wanted the Southwest to produce the national chairman of the PDP. But they succeeded in blackmailing him to say, oh, Secondus is an Ijaw person like you. Why are you not going to support your Ijaw brother, this and that? And you know, in politics, these are not the sort of things that people would like to hear. Before you know it, the governor will lose his support base. So in the end, they made Secondus their chairman. But at a big cost to the party. Some of the people that they could have held together by having the party produce, by having the Southwest produce
National chairman,
they are today not with the party. And then, of course, still talking about the third force, you have an Obasanjo who said he was no longer interested in partisan politics, coming up with ADC. What is the meaning of that? If you say you are not interested in partisan politics, what are you doing? Because I saw the card of ADC in your hand. What are you doing? You see, what they think is that by forming a new party, they will be able to dislodge Muhammadu Buhari or the government. The opposition as it is now is weak. People have forgotten that an election will take place in February. February is close. There is a big problem. There is a big problem of branding. You need to put that party in the consciousness of the people for a long time before they can begin to see that party as their own. So if you think that you can seat the president with a new party, you are wasting your time.
What are you saying, Jide?
A new party at this time, maybe an ADC. Not SDPO, because clearly Obasanjo does not want to work with SDP anymore, since his plan to hijack the party was defeated. So he prefers his ADC. I'm saying that with a new party, an ADC, you cannot unseat a government as entrenched as that of the APC, because you want to compare what happened the last time in 2013, 2014. You can't. Who is going to, the APC spends so much money to be where it is today. Who is going to bring that kind of money at this stage? Who? And then, of course, the big problem that politicians have in Nigeria, especially in the dominant parties, is this winner-takes-all idea. These people are going to fight themselves dirty. They are not going to agree with one another because everyone thinks that, look, it has to be my turn. Oh, it has to be me. So when you look at the situation, you will find that, I've said it before, that you need at least 2 cycles of elections before APC can be kicked out of power.
2 cycles.
2 cycles. And I'm very confident that that's what will happen. Because the opposition is really, really weak at this time. The opposition is weak, no doubt about it.
Can I chip in this?
My friend,
I may disagree with that 2 cycles. Why? First, I'd like you to understand one thing here clearly, that when...
Can it be done in 9 months?
9 months, it can be done. But I am not saying that it should be done. But it can be done. Why? When the Senate failed to get the electoral reordering bill across, know that the strategy has changed. What they wanted to have before, if we are thinking, is to ensure that the presidency election stands alone, so that the entire party can come together to field or to support one person while they go their separate ways to have their, of the other post. But as I talk to you, if you're noticing PDP keeping quiet, ADC keeping quiet. SDP, keeping quiet. A coup is being planned. And I want you to understand that nothing remains the same for too long in political game. The moment the right thing is introduced, the game is changed. Now, why is this important? It is important again that the same Buhari that came into power in 2015 he is no longer the same. He came as a messiah then. He is coming as Buhari, a human being now. Not the same. Number two.
Of course, it's the viewers.
Number two. No. Number two.
You have your time. You have your
Okay.
time.
All right.
It is the viewer, it is the
Hold on before he talks. It is the Nigerian voters who will determine whether they still want him or not. It is the Nigerian voters, not you and I. One thing is, I always say that time is a gentleman. The things that I see are products of the places that I've been to. Maybe some months back I thought there was a problem. But even the people in NPDP, even these people, a lot of them are reluctant to leave because they are not sure. They are not sure of what will happen. So some of them believe, okay, with all this problem, maybe we should just remain here.
All right.
If you underrate Buhari's popularity in the Northwest, all of those politicians that you talked about, you listed states, none of them can match Buhari in a contest in the Northwest. My friend Sule Lamido tried it, walking on the streets of Bauchi State. You saw the disgrace that they gave him. So the man still retains the core states that he had in 2011. He still retains those core states that he had in 23, 2011, 27. He still had those states. And he has the Southwest as well. So I do not see how in this next election, from what I see, and time is the judge, time will judge me, I do not see how the opposition will...
We have the likes of Fela Durotoye. We have the likes of Omoyele Sowore. We have Remi Shonaya. We have Tokwe Fashua. All these people, it's like a pastime now. Everybody wants to become a president. Even my friend Victor Ohai is running. Chris Mustafa Mwokobia. So many of them coming out to be the president. Now, in 2015, it was all about Goodluck Jonathan must go. There was a coalition. And APC came together in one front. They were able to sweep and change the status quo. Do you see something like this in the next 9 months?
That's a very difficult question to answer. You see, a presidential election like this, you have the pretenders, you mentioned many names, then we are yet to see the real contenders. I'm sorry, except Muhammadu Buhari, who has declared. Those I can say can challenge Buhari. Maybe some of them are trying to be, the fear of EFCC now. The moment you declare for the presidential ambition, the second day you see, no, EFCC is terribly bad now. That's what they do. The second day, the EFCC will go after you. So many of them are trying to keep their cards, to their chest. So, but beyond that, I don't share some of the optimism of Jide in the sense that in the 2015 election, it was the candidate of PDP, Goodluck Jonathan, facing up the candidate of the North, who had felt cheated. The integrity of Muhammadu Buhari that we talk about is not a new thing. His integrity has never won him in 2003, he has never won him the presidency, in 2007, in 2011. But in 2015, the PDP gifted the presidency of Nigeria to the opposition party by fielding a southern candidate against the only candidate from the north. Now, the scenario is not the same. The opposition is going to feed somebody from the north. So when you are calculating votes from Northwest, believe me, Buhari will not take all the votes from there.
I have Rabiu from Niger State. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hello, good evening.
Rabiu is calling us from Niger State. Thank you for joining this special edition of Journalist Hangouts. Rabiu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, please, I would like to go with Babajide.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, now talk.
Yeah, do you know what?
Yes.
Babajide is telling you the truth. So you understand the political issue in the north here. Buhari, up to now, let me tell you, the masses go on the street. In fact, if you do your, what is it called, let me say if you do, what is it called, how do I put it?
Survey.
Yeah, your survey. Ask any man on the street, you will know that definitely it is only Buhari that they sing. That man, they truly love him. In fact, I don't see any candidate coming out now that can stand Buhari's chance. That is the basic truth.
Thank you, Rabiu. The Babajide calls him the super tanker. And,
You want a response?
To corroborate your
Do
issue
you want
from
a
the
response?
north.
No, do you want a
Gentlemen,
response?
yes, you have your day. We have our day. But reaching home stretch of this topic,
Okay.
Jide, your final word on this. I want you to be categorical. What are you projecting in 2019?
You see, there are things that I know that I can't say here. I swear to God. There are things that I know. There are some governors that you think are going to deliver for the PDP. God is my judge. They will work against their party. Go and mark my words. Today, I'm not going to mention their names. There are governors who are very chummy with the president, who are chummy. They are talking to the APC. You think, oh, they are in the PDP. Oh, they are in another party. People will be dazed. In 2011, I came to TVC to analyze what will happen in the election. There were 36 states. It was Yori Folari and Macaulay who anchored the show. Out of 36 states, I got 34 correct. So the state, this is the party that will win in this state. They are living. These people are still living. I got 34 states correct. Let me tell you one of the states that I missed, Osun State. I thought that, what's his name? The current governor. I thought that Aregbe would do what happened in Lagos. But Aregbe said they should support No Ribadu. I missed that state and one other state. So this, what I'm saying is based on what I see. And time is always the judge, because we will all, maybe a few months down the line, we will sit down and say, ah, but he said this. So someone is an incumbent now, he has power. Don't compare 2015 with when he now has power. And people know how to use power. People know how to use power. So that is enough.
All right, I'll take this breather. When we come back, we take reaction from my audience. It's still Journalist Hangout. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's very, very heated in the studio here. The atmosphere is charged and tense. And let me take reaction from my audience. I'd like to take reaction from this place. Nobody? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. The thing is, President Buhari himself, we all know he's popular. We know his popularity. And coming to power at that 2015, he was coming with so much promises, which most of us buy into his idea.
Quickly.
But now, the situation and the atmosphere has changed now. Although he's still popular, but I believe only thing can defeat, like Babajide said, only thing can defeat him now is people coming together, fit one person. But this one that everybody is coming to run, this one, everybody want to be that named president.
All right, the next
Cannot
person,
defeat
quickly.
president.
My opinion on this is that in 2015, when Buhari came, we didn't know his capacity. Many of us voted for him because we thought he was coming for real change. 3 years down the line, we now know that he's not good enough. And I can assure you that many of us will not vote for him again. He has failed us woefully.
All right, the last reaction from this end. And we come back here.
Yeah, I'm Bashir Abdulaziz from the University of Lagos. Quickly, I would like to talk about the APC and the reaction or the action of the president towards the party. For me, I think the president did not really understand the dynamics of Nigerian politics. And that is why he has been handling the party in that way. And he believes that many of the politicians in the APC, he perceived them to be corrupt, and being him as incorruptible that that people view him, he thinks if he joins hands with many of the big wigs in the party, definitely they might stain him by the what's it called? By the way people perceive him to be incorruptible. And lastly, on the issue of ADC.
Thank you. I really have to go. Gentlemen, reaction from here. Gentlemen, final take on this. Final take.
There are four groups of people that will determine the
You have
election.
30 seconds.
Yes. First, the power brokers. 2, the political stakeholders. Then 3, masses. Then 4, the elite. Now, first, those stakeholders that you used in 2015 that didn't get anything back and would know that if you come back for second term, they may not get. They won't sit and watch the same way. 2, let me tell you today that people are saying different things on the street. If the president is comfortable, he should do something better to be more comfortable.
Adekule.
The APC and President Muhammadu Buhari, they blamed their way into Aso Rock in 2015. 2019, Nigerians won't accept that. They want to know what they have done to help the situation. They inherited a bad situation. They want to know how far they have done.
Babajide, wrapping up on this.
Well,
Fine.
I still stand on what I said earlier, that the president will win the next election.
President will win the next election.
He will win the next election. And that is not saying that. And that is not saying that I am satisfied with all that he has done so far. That's not what I'm saying, though. I believe that the president can do better than he has done. But looking at the dynamics and the nature of our politics, I don't see how he can be defeated for now.
All right, for the final lap, the final lap of the show, I have Shola Ojewusi and Mojid Jamiu. They will join me to talk about the regeneration of Las Gidi. Stay with us. In our collective march to greatness as a country, as part of Nigeria, is generally referred to as an example where things work. It is Lagos. Nigeria's commercial and industrial capital, though the relative development being recorded is attributed to years of planning and smooth succession of regimes. Many see the incumbent governor Akinwumi Ambode as a performer, from road construction to light up Lagos projects, security, civil service, and tax reforms, leading to improved IGR from agriculture. We are seeing a regenerated state. We beam our searchlight on Lagos for hope and inspiration about how things can become better in Nigeria. MJ, from 1999, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 2007, Babatunde Raji Fashola, 2015, Akinwumi Ambode. As Charles Ideos said earlier, that there's like a baton and there's a development plan for Lagos. And since that 1999, it has been in the hands of the progressive. What is the magic?
I wish we had the kind of a succession, progressive succession that we had in Lagos between 1999 and till date. I wish we had it in Nigeria between 1999 and 2015, before the APC took over. If you compare the 16 years of the federal government under the PDP and 16 years of Lagos, I mean, because I'm comparing now, because Lagos alone is 1/3 the size of the Nigerian economy at $136 billion per annum. I mean, the GDP of Nigeria is 500 and something, going to about, is projected to be $620 billion by the end of 2018. And Lagos alone is 1/3 of that. So, I mean, it takes the visionary as in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to he started the process between 1999 and 2007, and he handed over power to Fashola, who took over from the actualizer, and now to the one we call the consolidator. I mean, he's consolidating on the achievements of Tinubu and Fashola, and I think Lagosians should count themselves lucky. And in the report of the IMF and the World Bank, which the Financial Times of London echoed, it said it has taken Lagos, I mean, a huge task. I mean, that Nigerians should be grateful for Lagos for taking Nigeria out of secession, out of recession. So it's not just a fluke. It's not as if, it's not, forget about the improvements we have in agriculture and what have you. It is the Lagos economy, the buoyant Lagos economy, that actually took Nigeria out of recession. Is unexpected in history. It's something that beats the economy. So when you see the level of infrastructure, the audacity with which the Lagos state government, under especially Akumi Ambode, you can imagine the 2017 budget of a mere 816 billion naira, and the first state to genuinely project a budget of 1.046 trillion. I mean, unlike what we have in Cross River, I don't know where the guy will get the resources to pursue that. But Lagos, you can see, as we speak, the IGR of Lagos alone is $35 billion as at this month.
Naira.
Naira, as at this month.
Well, I think we have to give kudos to Lagos. Lagos is the leading light of Nigeria. Since 1999, you know, there's been a kind of continuum that any person interested in governance in Nigeria should be proud of. I mean, without mincing words, I can say Lagos has become the new socio-economic game changer in Nigeria, in the sense that we have very well-structured leadership. And, you know, sometimes they will say it's the economy stupid, but you have to look at the aspect of leadership. You know, there has been a continuum, like you said, and you can see there is kind of competition from one person to the other to want to accept, to want to show that there can be a difference in Lagos. So I think so far, so good, Lagos has been able to make a difference, to set an example about governance, and it's something to be proud of. Yeah, there are issues that we're still going to look at, but I think I can say, without mincing words, that it's been so far so good. Look, Lagos, I said the leading light. Lagos is the 6th largest economy in Africa now. And there is the hope, the belief, that in due course, it's going to become the 4th largest economy. That's not a mean feat for any state. But how has it been done? It's because there is a set pattern. There seems to be a kind of determination to want to make a difference. And that's why when you're looking at the other states in the Commonwealth, Lagos is being made as the example for others to follow. But it boils down to the fact that everybody on the shadow in Lagos seems to want to make that difference. And that's about it for now.
Babajide, what's the magic behind this Itesiwaju movement? Because it's now, since 2015, it has now been, the slogan has been Itesiwaju Eko.
I think first and foremost, we must give credit to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he constitutes the #1 conveyor belt of solid leaders in our country. The production line, the greatest production line of solid leaders in our generation belongs to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it has gotten to the point that anybody that he comes up with, we believe that that person will do well. We didn't give Fashola a chance because we felt he was not a politician. He was aloof and all that. The politicians never liked him because he used to block access to the Oga. But at the end of the day, Tinubu supported Fashola all the way. And Nigerians saw clearly in the fullness of time what he saw in Fashola. And when he came up with Ambode, a man who came second in the school SAT examination in West Africa, we thought, this guy, He didn't talk smartly. I mean, Ambode didn't talk fast, smartly. People were like, where did he get this person? But he took his time. He took his time. The first few months were really torrid months. But he took his time, and he's leading Lagos in the right way. Today, under Ambode, more than 500 roads have been rehabilitated. He's succeeded in opening up the hinterland and boosting the economy of those areas. Go to that place in after Ikpaja Command. Go there now and see how the economy of that area has changed by the fact that that road has been constructed. And of course, we have the Fourth Mainland Bridge. He also has a way of getting banks and other people to key into his project. So the other day I was reading about what they just came up with, because Lagos is now reputed for first in our country, the road printing equipment. Yeah. The road printing equipment that they have will do interlocking of 600 meters every day. Each of them can deliver interlocking roads. You know, it is on the island that you see a lot of this interlocking. He now wants to take it beyond Victoria Island and other places, and each of those equipment can deliver 600 meters of paving stone on Lagos roads within.
Let me take my final call.
In a day.
Jude is online. Thank you, Jude. Jude is calling from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Jude.
Okay. I agree to what you said.
I agree to.
Okay. I just want a statement to make. To be honest with you, Nigeria needs a smart president. President Buhari is a very good man, but he's not smart. Obama is a good man, but Obama is not smart. Trump is a bad man. Trump is smart. That is why America is
Let me round up.
Thank you for your contribution, Jude. All right.
Now,
we're still on Lagos.
Still on Lagos.
Gentlemen.
Still on Lagos. Maybe in 10 years' time, people will see some of the gains of Ambode's decision to actually diversify the economy of Lagos, because he's placing accent on tourism now. There is a $600 million tourism project, because big countries have shown us that you can make so much money from tourism. I was talking about Thailand the other day. Thailand in 1 year made $50 billion from tourism. That is five times what Nigeria made from selling crude oil in a whole year. So Lagos now is focusing on tourism. It's a 20-year project. By that time, you will see clearly that this is the goal of becoming the fourth largest economy in Africa will easily be achieved.
A lot of people will talk about Visionscape. A lot of people will talk about the heaps of refuse all around Lagos. But do you still have that?
Yeah, there are challenges, and I believe that those have been tackled. I mean, you toy with certain projects.
Why do you have to change your working model?
No, you see, towards getting Lagos to become a smart city, you can't continue with those rickety PSPs. That is the truth. And if you want Lagos to emerge as a smart city, then you need a modern and sophisticated cleaning system, like what we have in other urban centers of the world. And mind you, by the time the Dangote refinery and the Eco-Atlantic city comes on stream, I mean, you have a kind of revolution. So we need a smart cleaning system that can take care of that.
Smarter cleaning system.
Yeah.
Smart city.
Yeah, I think the process the government has started, you know, the governor is a fast thinker. He wants to run. It's not slow in his actions, and that's why he's coming up with new innovations. And you know, people tend to blame him for bringing in new ideas to the refuse system in Lagos by maybe trying to phase out the old system. But you know, if you want to really develop, you have to take the development issue by the horn. And I think that's what he's doing. But, you know, there's a kind of culture shock when you're trying to bring new things into a system.
Especially if it doesn't deliver success quickly.
That's what is happening. But I think the hiccups will be dealt with in due course. There are some things that the governor has put in place to support the issue of tourism development. Initially, when you are coming into Lagos from the Lagos airport road, it was quite a kind of eyesore. But now, there's a
Let me just take intervention from the audience. Final intervention. Let me take the man on the pink, Barrister. Okay.
Well, I believe that Lagos is working, and I also believe that that workable Lagos should go with accountability. Yes, there is a lot of work going on over there, bridges, tarring roads, but at what cost? We don't know. That is the area where some of you will tackle the federal government.
Okay, let me take the second. Let me take the demand on green.
Thank you. There's no doubt that the governor is an action and a performing governor. I want to toe the line of the last speaker with regards to accountability. I think it is only Ekiti and Zamfara State so far that has domesticated the Freedom of Information Act bill. I don't know why Lagos cannot do the same for us. Because finally, a lot of money goes into what's going on.
The last person.
Yeah, I think as far as Lagos State is concerned, Governor Akinwumi Ambodela has done very well in terms of infrastructural development. But the only way I will fault the government is the issue of the vision scape. I think it's not working as far as Lagos is concerned. I think they need to do more on that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Feedback. Gentlemen, MJ.
Yeah, like you said, we have any innovation, I mean, comes with its challenges and with time. You can see in the next few months, you'll see about 1,000 new bus stops coming up all over Lagos. And what's that going to do for you? It will free up more traffic. And that's an innovation. But it comes with its own issues.
The government has done well, but, you know, they can do better. There's always room for improvement. We need to look at what's happening with the Badagry-Lagos rail system. I think something should be done about that because people are complaining about that it's a bit too slow. But I think the government can really rise up to that. Yes.
Yeah, Governor Ambode has already shown that he's a Nigerian hero by agreeing to construct the 10-lane airport road. The federal government didn't have enough funds to do the road, and Lagos State has undertaken to do it. 10 lanes walled on either side. That will give us an environment of an airport that is truly world-class, that is truly befitting. Right now, the airport area is a disgrace, so the governor has come to help us solve that problem. And of course, I can't wait for what he's doing in Oshodi to be completed. Once he's through with what he's doing in Oshodi, Nigerians will see clearly that this is a really special governor.
It's been a wonderful time, guys. How time flies. The journey that started 4:30, before you say Jack Robinson, 2 hours, I want to thank those people that have put this together. Thank you, Olamide Ariokawe. Thank you, Oluwatoyin Festus. Shamsuddin, thank you. Asuko James, Okpeyemi Ashalu. It's been a wonderful time out on this special Democracy Day edition of Journalist Hangout. As a way to reward punctuality, we have gifts for Adeyinka Adedayo. Adeyinka Adebayo. You see us after the program. Afolabi Adeumi. Thank you. Alaba Alakbe. Adeyeri Olabodi. And Samuel Marvelous. They were all the first 5 to arrive for today's show. We appreciate our audience, analysts, and of course, our viewers at home. Join us tomorrow for the regular episode of Journalist Hangout. You can watch the repeats of what we did today at 11. And you can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. You can catch us live on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.